Hello, once again. As I previously introduced myself, my name is Faith Wanja and I will be your host for today's webinar. So, welcome to today's webinar. Our discussion today will revolve around child online safety. On this particular webinar, we are going to discuss, it is a webinar that is a series which is on child online safety. And on this particular one, it's an episode 2 out of 2 of the series that we've been having in this month of November. We will be discussing how we can strike a balance between screen time and real time, which is continuing the conversation from our webinar last week, which was on parenting a digitally literate generation. In that webinar, we had several highlights, and one of the highlights was that modeling digital discipline from a young age is very key in our households for children to learn about the boundaries, about the rules of navigating the social media platforms. It is always good for us to begin the teaching from when they're very young. Another highlight we got from last week was that you can monitor your child's online behavior while still allowing them their privacy. All these skills and tips of parenting a digitally literate generation is from the webinar that we had last week. If you would want to see how the conversation unfolded last week, we have a webinar recording that you can look up at your own free time. Maggie, if you would kindly share the link on the description or chat box. And now, before we begin, I would like to share with us some few house rules. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. Participate and engage with us on the description or chat box. Also, mute your microphone when others are speaking. And if you would like to unmute and speak, you can raise your hand and you'll get a chance to do so. For those joining, you can continue introducing yourselves in the chat as we progress. And now, before we delve deeper into the conversation, or as we begin our conversation today, I will request Maggie to share a poll with us, where we will engage in a very quick question. Simply, the question asks, how does your child spend most of their free time when they are at home? As we continue to answer, I'm very eager. If you have 2 children at home and they're inclined to different hobbies at home, probably one of them loves playing outside while the other loves to stay indoors and watch. If you have that kind of an answer, I will be very interested to hear your insight. You can unmute and tell us that as we wait for the poll results. Thank you. Thank you all for answering. I can see that playing has the highest with a 57%, and then followed by watching and then sleeping. It's interesting that our children are not studying. Is it that they are not doing homework at home or something like that? Thank you very much, everyone, for sharing this insight. I will be very interested in discussing further about playing and watching, especially because those are the two things that usually conflict a lot of time when it comes to our children and how they spend their time, especially their free time at home. Thank you very much, Maggie. Now, following that particular poll, I would like us to watch a very quick video.
Lily and Ted, will you be in my team? Ollie, you will be the referee.
You just have 2 players in the team, Luke and June.
We need one more to complete our team.
Let's start the practice first.
one more player?
No, I don't want to play.
Oh, come on, Jack. This is very exciting. We are forming a team as well, where the entire town will come and watch us play against the team from the neighboring town.
See? Everyone is having fun.
June, kick the ball on the left. Run fast. Now kick the ball straight and don't look behind. Just run towards the goalpost.
It's a goal!
Jack, you are so good at football. Why don't you play with us?
Yes,
Mobiles make everyone lazy, and also they are very, very harmful for your eyes.
I have realized that playing football with all of you on the ground will be more enjoyable and exciting.
I know how to make better use of this phone than playing football on it.
That's the video. What are some of the highlights that you have noticed in that video, or what do you think that video communicates? Have you gotten any insight from it? You can raise your hand or share on the chat box. Jen says the child enjoys playing with the other kids compared to playing on the phone. Yeah, that's true. Towards the end of that video, we hear the boy acknowledging that participating in the actual play was better than watching it or playing it on their device. Thank you, Jane, for that. The aim of this particular video was to show us how a device can take away so much time from a child, especially when they are among other children. It shows us that it's easier and it's better for a child to engage with others when they are in the field instead of just staying on their phone. It also shows that this boy is very talented in understanding how the game goes along. And when they're on their device, they do not get to share that knowledge with the others. We also hear the purple bear, telling the little boy that when you stay on your phone too much, it makes you lazy and it can also be very harmful to your eyes. He goes ahead to show the children that there are better ways to use that device other than just staying there playing the game. They can just actually take the picture and go back to having the real-time play with the others. Thank you for that. Magdalene says the kids playing are bonding nicely, which I agree. The video communicates that, especially towards the very end. It shows that the children enjoy playing together. Even the boy goes ahead to enjoy the game as they play together. And now this is just one of the activities that children can participate in rather than staying online on their devices, playing football. And I wonder what other activities that these children can participate in other than playing football when they are in our households. I believe that there are different perspectives, there are different environments when it comes to where our children are. And I would like us to share real quick some of those things that our children can engage in when they are at home. What are the relevant activities that children can participate in when they're in your region? Titus, when children are in Bungoma and you do not want them to stay too much on the device, what are some of those activities that you think they would participate in to make sure they are productive, they are having fun, and all of those things? Maggie, if you will kindly share the whiteboard with us for us to put in our insights on the activities that children can engage in when they are at home and we do not want them to be on the screens.
Thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Oh, thank you. So, in Bungoma, we have quite a number of activities that bring children together instead of probably leaving our children to stay online for a long period of time. So, we have games that are organized in the different fields, like the football matches. Then we have programs that are organized by our churches to involve children in activities like singing, like uh, recitations and all that. And but personally, I have tried to engage. Okay, I call them my children, but they are my brother's children. My
Yeah.
brother's children. Yeah, so I try to engage them in doing some home chores, like when I'm slashing, you'll find them also. They want to come and slash when I'm probably cleaning the compound, when I'm let's say doing the normal house chores. You'll find them trying to join in, and they really want to help me, even when some of the chores are beyond them. So I normally keep them involved, and I encourage uh, I encourage an environment where their parents keep their phones and gadgets away, probably locked, or they go with them so that children are not glued on the gadgets too much. Because if you even saw the that video, at first that child was a bit antisocial, and was kind of aggressive in addressing the other children when they called upon him to come and join them in the play. But after joining them in the play, then he realized that actually the play helps, and it is even better than keeping himself keeping to himself. So probably I will say that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Titus. That is very, very encouraging. That instead of having these children do this, stay on their devices for this long, you engage them in the activities, in the cleaning, in the slashing. Those are actually very, very productive ways of having them engaged. I can see other responses from the participants, reading a story aloud to them. I can also see another answer that says playing physical games together, going for a nature walk, telling stories together. I can see we love telling stories. And then there's also another response that says take a walk with them, house chores, playing some games. Uh, Getting to hear stories from them. Those are quite engaging activities for our children at home. I can also see Sharon sharing in the chat box saying that they can draw and paint, build Legos, cook, help with some chores, play puzzles and games. These are very, very good examples of the activities that our children can engage in despite staying on their devices. And this is where we now see the balance between them being online and them engaging in real-time activities. While we do not dispute that they can have their devices for some minutes, engaging in this kind of activities allow them to participate in other things so that their lives do not revolve too much around these devices. And thank you so much for that engagement. I wonder if there is another response that I have left out. Magdalene, can you see a response that I might have possibly left out? You can help me quickly share it. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for that. Now that we have seen all the activities that our children engage in, I wonder if that means that we are against most of the screen time that they are participating in. But before we answer that question, I have two truths and one myth in this slide. I hope all of us can see it. I have two truths and one myth. The three the three options state regulated minutes of high quality screen time per day is actually beneficial. Something else on this slide says not all screen minutes are equal. And the last one says all screen time is harmful for our children. Can you identify the two truths and one myth among the three?
I think that one is a lie because it's a myth. All screen time is harmful because I don't think
Mhm.
that all screen time is harmful actually. So I think that one is a myth. So by default, the other two are truth. On my
Okay. Do you have a different view? Before Janice tells us why she thinks that all screen time is harmful is a myth.
Concur with Janice. The
Mm-hmm.
third one, the third one is a myth because a child can be on screen and do something meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The second one is quite contradicting. Not all screen minutes are equal. Which screen minutes or what are we equating it to?
That's a good question. I think in that second option, it means like when you are on your device, there are some things that you can watch that are very productive, and there are things that you can do that are just meaningless and just time wasting. For example, if you're doom scrolling on your device, you do not have a particular goal of being online. So comparing the two, one where you're learning a new STEM skill and one where you're just doom scrolling, you cannot compare the value of the two. I think that is what it means. So it can be a truth in that case. What do you think? Yeah. Do you have another answer? Which one do you think is the myth? Or do you all agree that the third one is the myth? All screen time is harmful. Give me a thumbs up if you think that that is the myth. As we also respond, Janice, will you expound on why you think that that is the myth?
okay. Right now, actually, we are on screen time. Is it harmful? Is it harmful? No, because you are learning. So the same case that happens to kids. So there are times they're also learning
Yeah.
using their phones or using their parents' phone. That's not harmful. Maybe they're on TV and maybe Miss Rachel is teaching about ABCD to the ECD kids. That's not harmful. They're also learning. So that's why I'm saying all screen time is not harmful. But too much of it is harmful.
Too much of screen time is harmful. Now that one blends very well into the first option that we have, where it says regulated minutes of high quality screen time per day is actually beneficial. That means when we have regulated maybe 10 minutes, 1 hour, from the last webinar, we saw some of the hours that are actually appropriate for our children to be online. When you have these regulated amounts of screen time, that can actually be beneficial. And I wonder what are some of those things that our children can explore online that are very beneficial for them. They could be online for 1 hour and they are also doom scrolling. I wonder what are some of the things that they could be exploring on the internet that are actually beneficial for them. For me, I would say that having a, a storytelling app or an audiobook for them for that particular 1 hour will be very, very productive. For example, the African Children's Stories podcast that have very helpful educational resources for our children. If they were listening to that audiobook for an entire listening to that podcast for the entire hour, I don't think I would have a problem. Do you concur? And what are other things that you think children can benefit from when they stay online for these regulated minutes?
So think playing a game for 20 to 30 minutes is a good thing. I mean, they also need to relax their mind. Games don't have to be physical. Yeah, games don't have to be physical all the time. They also have
Mm-hmm.
really less screen time where they're just playing games. It's also cool. Yeah, but now we need to be careful about what kind of games our kids are playing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
if they play this game for 10 to 20 minutes online, it has no bad impact on them. As long as I can regulate it, they can play on that digital device.
Yes.
Okay, it's acceptable. That is acceptable. Another view.
I
Sharon,
also
what
think
do you think?
it's okay. Hi.
Sorry. Hi.
Hi. I also think it's okay for them to have like a game or anything because again, if you take the device and you treat it like a book, like just give him a book, Basi. Like there's no need to kind of give the child a device who knows that I
Mm-hmm.
can play games, I can play some temple run over here and collect some coins because also them they need that. Even you need
Yeah.
that. Sometimes when I talk about a job, unaingia in your bed and you just do some Candy Crush and it kind of it's kind of like it heals you for that day.
Yes.
So maybe even kids need that game, not for the reasons we think, but now the regulated minutes now is also important. Because I also see on my child's tablet sometimes he
Yeah.
downloaded Duolingo and he's very inquisitive and he's a person that can teach himself. But sometimes I can tell he's getting notifications from Duolingo that state he hasn't been learning something for some time. So then that's when I also intervene and be like, hey, how come you have this notification that it seems like you've forgotten to learn French? And then he'd get
Uh,
embarrassed and be like, oh, yeah, So I think we should let them play games too as they enjoy which also helps them to create discipline at a young age.
true. 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 I am very eager to know how long does he spend, like if they are learning that French, for how long can he concentrate on it? Can he spend an hour learning or 20 minutes? Can you tell how long he spends learning that new language?
Now he spends too long that sometimes I have to stop him myself because I feel
Oh.
like he's too sucked into it. Now mine is also sort of too obsessed with learning. Again, sometimes he can give it up, and then when he begins again, you have to stop. I always have to be there so he can take that hour and learn that French, and then you'd find him again in the morning waking up learning that French again, and then he would go to play outside, and then he'd come back, and then you'd see him learning the same French. Then you're just
Mhm.
like, okay, can we go to something else now?
That's
Can we
very
play again?
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you convince him to now it's time to let go? Is it something that you sat down and had a discussion about, that when I see you're too much on your screen, even if you're learning, there's also the bit that you're supposed to be playing outside? Is it a conversation you two sat and had, or you just find yourself giving him the warnings as a parent? Did you have that kind of conversation?
I just I just find myself giving him the warning, but the conversation comes up eventually when he asks why
Mm-hmm.
do I have to stop? Then I'd have to explain myself. Because also again with him you need to explain yourself before you just say.
Yeah.
He would ask, why do I why? So it'd be like because you've learned it for a long time and you need to give your brain time to pick something else and also remember what you just learned yesterday, you know that let's
Yes.
go slowly. Sometimes you're getting a little bit of something, so the conversation always comes up, but the warnings usually just happen randomly, you know
Yeah.
sometimes
That,
because sometimes he's not doing it, so then again I'd have to approach the part where he's not doing it from a different angle of, if you do not do it again for too long, you're going to lose it, and
mm,
it's not worth it to begin something and lose it again
true.
just randomly. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. That was very, very insightful. I had seen another hand. Jen, was that you?
Yes, I have a question for Melody. I feel like she struggles. Okay, for us, we struggle making the kids to get time to play and to learn, balancing. But mostly it's to learn because they want to play so much. So for Melody, I feel she struggles to allow the kid to play. So in that, how do you make it like? How do you balance and ensure that your kid now has time to play either outside or through the phone?
But basically, she's
Yeah.
asking about the balance between having a child studying and also playing. She was asking about that balance. She had not gotten it very, very clearly.
Okay, like other people are struggling to make their children study while I'm struggling to make mine play or
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah.
Like mine is the opposite. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. I know it's crazy. I don't even know how I found myself here. You just have to go with the flow.
Yeah.
But I think I'm also very playful.
Uh-huh.
So I think I bring enough playfulness around him. I have a lot of he gets a lot of toys, gets a lot of books. I also engage him a lot, and I'm also very interested in how he behaves and how he works
Mm-hmm.
and just how he is as a mind. So usually I'd find time. I also know he needs time to play, so I always find time to play. I even find time to do gardening with him. I'm usually just having him around me so that he can just do the things that I'm doing when he's not studying. So sometimes now when he's alone, that's when I'd find he's studying on his tablet more than he's watching. So in fact, I even watch with him on my phone sometimes before we go to bed. He
Yeah.
comes to my room, we get in my bed, and then we watch together. And then by 9, he'd go to bed. And, funny enough, he would be with something like a book or a reading app, which kind of bothers me sometimes. But we do, I engage him a lot in my own activities so that he doesn't miss out a lot of play and other activities.
Okay. Does he like? I have so many questions for you. Pardon me. Does he like going outside to engage with other children, or he's a reserved kind of child?
He likes to do, I don't know if he likes to do it. I've not seen him with a frequent friend,
Mm-hmm.
the one like, I don't know if he's an introvert or he's just young. I don't know. He's not an introvert. He relates a lot with older people. He
Mm-hmm.
likes to meet with older people. He likes to force me to take him to the Rotaract Club, not the Interact anymore. He's not
Mm.
interested in the Interact.
He wants adult
So
stuff.
I think he enjoys staying around in the
Mm-hmm.
house with me because I'm an adult. And when the kids are around, when the other kids are here, like my niece and my nephew, he does play with them a lot outside, and those are the ones that actually get him to forget to do his apps. So
Mm.
sometimes I have them around, and that works for me. So when I have them around because they're playful, utajikuta huko nje they're playing those skipping games and all that. There's neighbors' kids that come to look for him every once in a while. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, hey, there's kids hovering around the fence. That's like a hint. You should
Yeah.
go.
You should be outside.
Yeah.
How does he
So
respond to that one?
he goes. He's just like, okay. Then he'll go, but he would not initiate going to look for them.
Okay. That is very interesting. Janice, on the other side of the fence, what are you struggling with?
I'm struggling to like allow my kid to play. Okay, not my kid, my sibling to play
Mhm.
because all the
Outside.
time she's on the phone, TikTok. Apart from TikTok, IG. Apart from IG, there's WhatsApp and YouTube. And now,
Mhm.
if I take the phone away, she's glued to TV with movies. So I struggle a lot to allow her to go. Okay, to tell her or to advise her to go out. So the only thing that works for us is maybe I decide let's go for a walk, and that walk needs to have a pay. Maybe I can get a sweet, or maybe I can get a soda.
You have to bribe them to be outside.
Yes. But one thing that has been working, we have
Mhm.
been bringing. My sister has been bringing a niece, so she takes more time playing with the niece, and actually that has been helping a lot. But minimizing the time on screen time, yes,
You're still having that challenge.
we are still having the challenge, but we are still working on it.
I wonder whether it comes from what that child sees around the home. If I am on my phone as well almost the entire day, I don't think they will adopt to anything else apart from that. And I think Titus has a response to that. Titus, would you want to respond to it?
Okay, thank you. I think on what you've just shared, I think children are, I can say, the greatest imitators.
Mm-hmm.
Like, rather than telling them what to do, they normally learn a lot and very quick from what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are glued to our phones and our gadgets most of the time, they will tend to do that. The moment you place your gadget just hapo kando kidogo, utapata ameiba, ameenda kujifungia kwa room, anafanya mambo yake. So I think, yeah, also what we as adults do around children really shapes how they behave and how they, like, they do or they learn things.
Yeah, true, true. I agree with that. Sometimes children learn by imitating. Just as Jen had shared before, that when I say let us go out on a walk, that child will follow me to the walk. It's because I have led by example. All that narrows down to everything that we are trying to use to strike a balance. If I tell my child, let us spend just 2 hours on our devices, and after those 2 hours, I put down my phone, they will just follow what I have just done. They will put down the phone and do something. If I take up a book to read, they see me doing that often. It will not be a problem for them to do it when I say you now need to pick up a book and read, because they have seen me do that before. It will not be a bother. We know this generation right now. They will ask you the question, why do you want me to do that and you're not doing it? We I am certain most of us have been asked that question. You cannot tell me to do this and you're not doing it. So I think to strike this balance in our homes mostly, we need to first begin setting these boundaries by setting an example. If you want that child to walk outside, do you yourself walk outside? If you want them to pick up a book and read, if you want them to learn a new skill, I think beginning by being an example is where we will stem the balance from. If we want them to watch a productive thing, if we want them to play for 10 minutes, all these things begin when we also lead by example. And thank you, Titus, for that. I wonder whether there's somebody's insight to Mefungia in that segment. Anyone else who would like to add something? Oh, Melody, yes, please go on ahead.
I've just remembered. I think
Mm-hmm.
I also struggle like Janice. I also have the same struggle as Janice. Now I have this other 14-year-old. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I'm even scared to look at his device. I do check it, but before I do it, I begin to pray. I'm like, Lord, please let me not fall.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Are they too
I have, yes.
Are they too secretive, or
Too
you just scared
secretive.
about the
And
things they
then,
might discover?
but because this one goes to Google, he researches about these things.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, hey, how to do these things. You know, those kind of questions on Google, how to know
Yes.
you are in love. Those are the kind of things I can find in his. And I'm afraid to even now, because I know sometimes he may search those things, but because of those searches, I
Yeah.
know apps may start to bring out more information, and before he knows it, there's now apps that come up that can lead him directly to these other porn sites. So
Yeah.
before I even get there, I'm just like, oh Lord, what do I do here? Because I'm so afraid to to check, and I don't know, I'm just a single mom. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
a guy there that will be like will handle the sex talk and everything. But the
Mm-hmm.
struggle now is like this one plays a lot of games that are even having other people in the background. You can hear other people in the background talking in the games and everything, which also bothers me a lot. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to get to him and just, understand these games and talk to him about the searches that he's trying to get into, you know. And then
Yeah.
this one is in his room. I can't even get him out of his room. Forget about leaving the compound. This one, I can't get him out of
Mm.
his room. So it's just also another big struggle again. Just like, Lord,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
if I open that door and I walk into something? I'm not ready to walk in.
Yeah, I understand your fears. Today we are very lucky to
Yeah.
have a psychologist with us. Titus, my apologies. We will be
Yeah.
doing a lot of referrals to you. How can you help a
So
parent who has a teenager in the house? How do we get them to open up to us? How can we have these kind of conversations with them? What is the best approach that you can use?
Uh, umeniweka in a spot, but
My apologies. We need to get through to
okay.
these teenagers.
Okay, with first of all, what we have to agree that parenting has no manual,
True.
and dealing with teenagers, there is no such a single approach that will work for all the teenagers. So we just have to keep on. I don't want to use the phrase trying,
Mm-hmm.
but it's basically trying. We just need to engage them in conversations and chores that keep them a bit engaged, and that will probably lure them from their rooms. Like sasa huyo mwenye anajifungia kwa room unapatanga probably around the home area hakuna labda ile kitu inamuinterest, maybe hakuna peers wake, but if he or she gets to find maybe a peer mwenye wanaweza fanya kitu naye pamoja, you'll find them moving out of the room. So probably anafeel isolated and a bit alone, ndio maana anajifungia kwa room because anaona hakuna mtu mwenye anaweza bond na yeye. So as a parent, you also need to wear more than one hat. Uh, that in addition to you being a parent, you also need to kind of open up yourself, be a bit loose when handling especially the teens and the adolescents, because ukiwa treat kama venye una treat wala watoto wadogo, they'll tend to probably detach from you. So
Mm-hmm.
kama unaweza loosen up a bit from the parental bit, unajaribu kukua, naweza sema bit friendly, ama kujileta to that level yenye anaweza naye huyu mzazi naona ni kama anajaribu kubond na mimi, so pia mimi wacha nijaribu. I think that will work, but hakuna specific manual ama a tested way yenye tunasema ati this one is proven and tested that will help in probably bringing out the teenagers. Hakuna.
True. True.
Yeah.
I agree with you, and I see we are on top of the hour. And I want to also give Melody another suggestion. Sometimes, I want to know whether you've explored family games. Nowadays, I see they have these card games that have know your family better, know your friend better, and they have those questions that might help them to open up. I don't know whether you've come across those kind of games. You might also try and explore them. having such kind of games as a family might help your teenager to open up. And instead of asking Google, how do you know you're in love, they might come to ask you how they know that they have a crush somewhere.
Yeah, I think that will help. And then also, instead of you posing everything to them,
Mm-hmm.
allow them to make decisions in, for example, the games they like to play, so that you also
Yeah,
fit in. Instead of kuwapeanga tu ati kuja ufanye hii, kuja ucheze na hawa, kuja ufanye hii, unajaribu
yeah,
kumuuliza like ni nini chenye anapenda, so
true,
that
true.
pia unajaribu kufit in. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Titus. Melody, have we tried to help the crisis?
Thank you so much. Hey, teenagers, hiyo sasa mmesema tuache kuwa treat kama watoto. They are not children.
Yeah, true.
That one I've taken note. And also, I'm going to try the games. These both of them like board games, and we do play a lot just together.
Yeah.
But I don't know, he's just an introvert. Even as a child, he's always just been very away from people and away from spaces. So sometimes it's also just a personality, and I try to respect that as well, because sometimes we can be overbearing for him as well. So when you notice you're so close to him again, he would just be like, "Can I go?" And you're like, "Jesus Christ, okay, go." But the games, I think I could explore more games than just the ones that we have. We have a lot of board games, and we play some Uno, we play some chess, and we usually with even my parents over. But hey, I've taken note, and I'll try to get him closer too as well. Thank you.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much. Let me read this last comment from Jen, and we're going to close the meeting at that heavy conversation. Jen says it all starts with a conversation. How often do you sit down with a kid, get to talk about just random stuff, about anything, not just questioning, but also allowing them to do the allowing them to ask you those questions. And you as a parent, you should listen a lot. I think those are some of the things that we can use to make sure that our children open up to us and that we have different conversations with them. And because of time, guys, allow me to end the meeting right here. It was very, very good to engage with you and hear about how you're parenting and how these things are unfolding within your households. We look forward to having these episodes about child online safety in the coming months. With that, thank you so much and